So now we're going to look at section 5.1 on multiplying polynomials. In this section, it's important to have a little bit of vocabulary in the background. So we're going to have polynomials as a sum or a difference of monomials, or terms if you like. And we're also going to talk about the distributive property. So polynomial could be something like x minus 2, two terms, or x squared plus 3x minus 4, okay, three different terms that are being added or subtracted. The distributive property is something that you would have learned in grade 9. An example would be something like a times b plus c. And what the distributive property tells us is that we need to go a times b and a times c. Whatever's on the outside of the bracket affects everything on the inside. So for x squared times x plus 6, we would go x squared times x to get x cubed, and x squared times 6 to get 6x squared. Excellent. Now, in this example, we've got the two binomials being multiplied together, x plus 2 and x minus 4. The distributive property tells us that we need to take the x and multiply it by both terms in the second binomial, and the 2 and multiply it by both terms in the second binomial. A lot of times we talked about FOIL, maybe in your grade 9 class, and that means in the case of two binomials, the first terms, the x times x, the outside terms, x times negative 4, the inside, 2 times x, and the last term, 2 times negative 4. So the first terms, x times x, gives us x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Now, the 4x and the 2x, or the negative 4x and 2x, are like terms, and we can combine those if the variables and their exponents are exactly the same. So negative 4x plus 2x comes in at negative 2x. So if we clean that up, we get x squared minus 2x minus 8. The second example would involve a trinomial, perhaps. Oh, just make a little note there about combining like terms. So, for example, 3x plus 2x would be 5x, as opposed to 3x times 2x would be 6x squared. So people were asking where the pluses and the minuses come from. So a times b and a times positive c would give us positive ac. I'll have to be careful about the editing next time. So x minus 3 and x squared plus 2x minus 1. The x multiplies everything inside the second bracket, as does the negative 3. X times x squared then comes in as x cubed. X times 2x comes in as 2x squared. X times negative 1 is negative x. Negative 3x squared, negative 6x, and positive 3. And notice that I list the signs. Now, negative 2x squared, where is that positive? Positive 2x squared and negative 3x squared are like terms. So I get x cubed, which has no other like term. 2 minus 3, or negative 1, x squared. And then negative 1x and negative 6x combine to make negative 7x plus 3. So x cubed minus x squared minus 7x plus 3. That's the result of multiplying x minus 3 and x squared plus 2x minus 1. Now here's a simple one. X plus 1 and x minus 1. Same idea. X times x is x squared. X times negative 1 is negative x. Positive 1 times x is positive x. And positive 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. You'll notice, though, that we have a negative x and a positive x are like terms, are opposites. And when we combine them, they turn to 0. So I won't give you much more, just page 209, questions 3 to 4 all to work on over the next 2 days. All right, prepare for that test. Bye-bye.